Welcome to a very special LEGO Marvel set. This one is especially special because it's from the movie No Way Home, which came out in 2021, where, of course, all three Spider-Man were in the same movie. So, of course, you get, I believe that's Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man, along with the Green Goblin, Doc Ock, MJ, Ned, Doctor Strange, and Electro. And this set is a very, very special one because it has some really cool display features, and the fact that it has those invisible things that makes them look like they're flying. And this thing does open to show that there's a bit of a hand of Sandman, but you do get another smaller set which can combine with this one, which has a better Sandman in it. And of course, you have the portal to the Sanctorum, and you have some of those generators around the thing, and you have the glider there with Goblin levitating, and this really cool box, which is not a printed piece, by the way, it's stickers. So good luck. And of course, you have Doctor Strange with his magic, and I really like the Electro. It does look better than the other Electro because its lightning bolts are bigger. But as for the set itself, wait a minute. Whoa, 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 what's going on here? I don't remember Anti-Venom being in the movie, or Venom, well, technically it was, or Spider-Woman, and that Green Goblin, he wore a different costume. What is Batman doing here? Captain America? Wait, and is that the Fantastic Four? Okay, let me tell you what's going on. So this is my personal display of these sets. This one actually comes from the smaller set I mentioned earlier, where you get this big Sandman along with Lizard, where Lizard does not come in this big set in case you haven't noticed already, and you get in that small set an Electro, which looks like that, whereas this one has a bigger lightning bolt, which is much better, of course. And obviously, you do get Spider-Man in that smaller set, which comes in this one, and then you can combine them, and then you have this more movie accurate one. But I decided to go crazy on my display. As you can see, we have Venom, which technically he was in the movie. He was in the end credits scene just for us to go and watch Venom 3, just to see that they didn't really link it at all. But nonetheless, I put Venom in there because how cool would it have been if Venom was in the movie? That would have made it even more awesome. And we do get a Spider-Man Christmas one version. This is actually not from the set, obviously. As I said, it's my own display. But technically, it was a Christmas movie, and you do get a Christmas Spider-Man there. And this is from another Spider-Man set, which I'll be doing a separate review for. But I put him over there along with Anti-Venom, which comes from a different mech suit review, which I will be doing another time. And then we have Spider Noir, which is actually not a Lego minifigure, it's Lego compatible from somebody selling them here in the Western Cape called My Blockies. I'll have a link in the description as well. It's really well detailed actually, because this one actually has some arm printing, which is really, really nice, and some leg printing on the side, which Lego doesn't always do. And these ones are pretty well priced, so you should definitely go check it out if you are in South Africa, because I got Spider Noir like that, along with this very accurate movie screen accurate Green Goblin, which looks incredible. I mean, just look at the Goblin bombs. It looks exactly like the movie, and even the whole suit has printing everywhere else. Let me show you. So this one is, of course, from the Tobey Maguire movies, and I thought this is quite nice for the set, considering that this is the Green Goblin that was in the movie, except not in this suit. Or technically, he did wear the suit for a short time in the movie, so technically, this does make sense to have him in this set. And now the head awkwardly removed there, but if you move it to the other side, you do get this face of him, or you can turn it around and you have the orange one. So definitely go check out My Blockies. They have some really good minifigures, very well detailed. As you can see, there's literally printing all over the figure, which is really, really nice. And of course, speaking of the Goblin, we have the Lego version, which is right over here. And comparing these bombs, this one obviously looks much better than the official Lego one, but nonetheless, I really like the fact that you have the glider on this invisible thing, making it look like it's flying. And they even added this Easter egg of the camera, which I believe is a reference to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, who also took pictures as he was fighting the lizard. And of course, there you can see Andrew reaching out to MJ as she's falling and to save her. And of course, we have our hero, Tom Holland, his Spider-Man. I took off their masks so that you can actually see their faces, which I think is really nice that they included individual faces of all three Spider-Men. And you, of course, have the OG Tobey Maguire. You don't get a Bully Maguire version, unfortunately, but there is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And of course, you have the very nice big Sandman, which is much better in the other set. So I added it very easily to this set. And then Anti-Venom is a character that I don't know a lot about, but I also added him to the set because it's spider stuff. And of course, I also added Spider-Woman here because it just makes sense, and technically she was in the movie if you take into consideration that scene where you see everyone there at the end where you kind of make out their figures. But yeah, I added her to the set, and you're probably wondering, why did I put Captain America in here? Well, technically this set doesn't feel complete for me. There's supposed to be a big shield, and this is supposed to be taller. So this is kind of a reference to Cap's shield. That's why I put him here. This guy comes from the Christmas set, in case you were wondering. Obviously, that's Spider-Man 2. And of course, we have Doctor Strange, which is strange, haha, pun intended. But I really like Doctor Strange because he has his orange classic magic going on, and his cape always looks very, very cool. I even like this little bit of gray in his hair. So you do get Doctor Strange in this set, which does make sense because he's one of the main characters in the movie. And of course, we do get Doc Ock, which is right over here. Doc Ock is pretty nice with his 4 arms. As you can see, can grab onto one of the Spideys because there's so many. And you can see the back here. It's pretty well designed. No back printing on his legs. A little bit of printing on his front legs. No arm printing, but nonetheless, he looks pretty cool. And if you look on the other side, he does have an angry face compared to his normal looking face. So that I really like about Doc Ock. And who else am I missing? I think I did mention MJ. Oh, right. There is, of course, Ned. Here he is with this thing, which I completely forgot the name of the thing, but you know what it is. And there's literally stickers all around this thing. You had to put stickers on every part except that part. And then Ned obviously looks pretty cool. I think they did a great job of making him. And of course, he has his scared face. Oh, wait, no, that's a smiling face. His scared face or chilled face. Wow, this is just a super chill guy. He doesn't seem to be afraid at all. I really like the hairpiece. It looks very accurate to me. So, really, really well done on him. And of course, the Green Goblin here. He technically, in my opinion, they could have made his suit a bit more purple, especially on his legs. There's a bit of purple, but if you remember correctly, there was quite a lot of purple on his No Way Home suit, and it would have also been nice if there was like a hood. But he does have 2 different faces, which is very nice. Does help quite a lot. And of course, he has the Goblin Bomb, which is very, very cool. And he has this to fire with. There's no spring loaders or anything, but he does have this very nice fire detail as he is flying with the glider from No Way Home. And then we have MJ, which is over here. She is pretty, Zendaya. And you do get her nice looking hair and a different face, a chill face, and a semi-worried face, even though she was falling and Andrew had to go catch her with his spidey sense. And luckily he did redeem himself, which was one of the best parts of the movie. As for Tom Holland's Spider-Man, you do get his face where he's stressed, and yes, he does come with a much happier face, as you can see. And I really like all the web details that makes it look like he's shooting the web like that. I really like this detail of Lego, and the fact that his legs are printed nicely is a pretty cool detail. So that is Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And in case you were wondering about Cap, he just simply has the shield, Mjolnir, and he has this little jetpack for some reason. Even though he can fly with Mjolnir, this is the one I just wanted to include for fun. And then we have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, which is, of course, a very nice looking hair. My favorite Spider-Man personally. You do get his happy face and a very nice back detail as well. And the fact that his hands are red and Tom Holland's is black is also a very nice detail. And this nice dark blue that you also get with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. And then, of course, you get the OG Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. There you can see I really like how they made his suit, because you don't get this minifigure easily unless you're paying a lot through eBay or Facebook to get the original sets. But there you can see his more chilled face and the back of his torso, which looks very, very cool. And I also added this little bit of a web shooter on him, which is pretty nice. And of course, they each come with their different masks, which I will show you now. So we have Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, my favorite. That's his mask. And then you have Tom Holland's mask, which looks like this. And I believe each of them have that at the back, which is very, very cool. And then this one probably looks the best, which is Tobey Maguire's mask of Spider-Man, which I think looks really, really cool. And then as for Lizard, which is not in this set, as you already noticed, it's my own display. I have Lizard here, which is pretty cool because he's got some toes, got very nice leg printing, and he actually has a tail and some really nice printing on his back and back of his head, because if you look here, this actually comes off. And then you can put it on, and then you can give him a tail. So I really like the detail. Lego went there, and it looks pretty cool. Technically, it should be bigger, like a big fig, because Lizard is bigger. But other than that, this figure looks pretty cool. And the reason why I got that set is so I can get Lizard and Sandman, so that the set is more complete, as you can see. And then the last villain from the official set is, of course, Electro, which looks really cool with his big lightning bolts compared to the one that has smaller lightning bolts. I think this one looks very, very nice. You can even move it a bit like that if you want to, but I see that you shouldn't because it will break off. So rather try not to move it. But that is Electro, which looks very cool. I love the detail and the fact that you have those things that looks like he's shooting it out of his hands, and you even get that little comic accurate lightning face, and even the Tesseract, or sorry, no, not the Tesseract, the arc reactor on his chest. So I think they did a swell job on Electro. He looks really cool. And just for the sake of it, here is the Christmas Spider-Man, which has a unique torso and some golden webs. As you can see, it says Spider-Man there. Technically, No Way Home was a Christmas movie, came out in December, and there was a Christmas song, so technically it's a Christmas movie. As for Anti-Venom, he does look pretty cool. The back, he has another Anti-Venom symbol on it, but no other detail, unfortunately. And he's got this weird-looking web coming out of him. And then you get this Spider-Man, which has arm printing, actually, unique arm printing, which is funny because one like Andrew Garfield doesn't have special arm printing. It's just dark blue, or the other ones are black and another dark blue. But this one actually has arm printing, so that's quite cool, and this can actually shoot, so that's pretty cool. Wait, no, I think I did it wrong. Let me try again. Pew! Okay, no, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but believe me, it does shoot. And then here is the Venom, which is from a different set, but just imagine how cool it would have been if Venom was part of No Way Home. and not just in the end credit scene. I mean like an actual role. Then it would have been a Sinister Six type of vibe, which would have been very awesome. And of course you have this back side, putting it all together, and it looks very, very cool. And he's technically supposed to be bigger, but I think this looks very cool. The fact that you can move these things around works very, very nicely. And then obviously there is Spider-Woman, and she wasn't in the movie, but hey, she works pretty well with this set. And then this is obviously a bit bendy. I'll do another review for this set. It comes with this figure, the Spider-Man, which has the arm printing, and Venom, along with Venom's car apparently. I'll do a different review for that set, but I was having fun with the display. So this is Spider-Woman. And then there's Spider-Noir, which I showed you a bit already. He's got the nice hat and arm printing, leg printing on the front and the back, I believe. Okay, no, just normal back for the legs. And he has his gun, which is strange for a spider, but yeah, he's got a gun. And Batman. This is actually from just a poly bag. But you know, Batman, he appears at places where he doesn't always is supposed to be. But I got Batman here, and he looks pretty nice. Got a different face, and I put him over there. So if Batman were to ever cross the multiverse, technically he could have been in a movie. So it's more like a what-if situation. And as for the rest of the set, you can see that it does have the Statue of Liberty statue's face, which is funny because those pieces are technically sausages and they used it for eyes. And then, of course, there is the Sandman, which is very mobile and can move, and it's got these nice hands, and this hand is bigger for some reason, but I think it's done pretty well. And there's this cool, what do you call it again, portal from Doctor Strange, and then this makes it look like the lizard is jumping through it. And then you have a little bit of Sandman in the rest of the set, and it works well as a display. And there you can see is the portal to the Sanctorum. I think that's all how it opens, literally just that. So that's a nice feature at the back. And then you can take it here, and there's one of the webs, and that was one of the devices they used to cure one of the villains. And then I just had fun making my own displays of these invisible pieces / webs and stuff. So I definitely recommend getting both sets, because then you get a proper Sandman, because it felt like they really neglected Sandman in this set. So yeah, definitely get that one, because this Sandman is originally supposed to go onto this platform, which does come with this Spider-Man and this Electro, which basically has the same detail, except it has smaller lightning bolts. If you see there, it does come with the same detail that the other one does, except it does not come with as big lightning bolts. There's a comparison of the two. So the rest is pretty much the same. I do see that that is like definite yellow, whereas that is more transparent, which makes more sense. The back does look different, and the pants, yeah, they're exactly the same. So that's the difference between the two Electros. Obviously, this one looks much better, so I'm glad they did update it. I'm not sure if this one came out first and then this one, really not sure, but I really like the difference between the two Electros. And then the Spider-Man, in this set, you get a wobbly, nice looking web, and I'll get to the Fantastic Four now. But this Spider-Man looks like the one you get in the bigger Tom Holland set, as you can see, except I just put the mask on, so there you see him with his mask and without his mask. The back is exactly the same, and yeah, you get this Spider-Man in the other set as well, if you can't afford the bigger one just yet. And this Doctor Strange comes from the same set that Captain America and Spider-Man came from, the Christmas one, and I added these green things, which is him using the Time Stone. So I think that looks pretty cool, so I had a separate battle set up for that in the Lego room. And as for the rest of these characters, you might recognize them from the new Fantastic Four movie. These are Lego compatible, so it's again from my blockies. And this is, of course, the Invisible Woman, which I think looks very cool. I do say that it would have been nice if her legs were a bit transparent, like they did with that one Vision minifigure. But nonetheless, you do get nice printing all around, which is very cool. And I believe she has a different face, which seems to be a standard. And you have these things where she creates mini shields as Mrs. Fantastic. And then you do get her brother, Johnny Storm, which is actually very cool with the detail that the fire does come with. I can't get this bottom part off. But you see this actually comes off and then you can put it on, which is so cool because even though this is not Lego, it's very Lego compatible. It's a solid build and it does have arm printing, this nice fire. He's got two different faces, chill and not chill. And this is from the new Fantastic Four movie, which is coming out soon. You get Johnny Storm. And then lastly, or not lastly, you do get The Thing, which is not a big fig, unfortunately. That would have made more sense. It's got nice arm printing, leg printing, all of that. And what would have made sense is to have him as a big fig. And I know there's a set coming out with these guys and Galactus, but not the Silver Surfer, where he has like these extra big hands to fight with. But yeah, that's basically The Thing from my blockies. And then here I have actually, before I get to Mr. Fantastic, I have a Chris Evans Fantastic Four, which I definitely had to get because, I mean, this is iconic. This is from the OG Fantastic Four movies. And unfortunately, they didn't have the other OG ones, but they probably brought this one out because of Deadpool and Wolverine. But you even have this nice side leg printing of pockets. I think it's done really, really well. And I believe it also has two faces. So that's pretty cool. So there's two Human Torches, two variants of all the multiverse stuff. So then technically, this is possible for them to appear in a Spider-Man movie or to have Spider-Man appear in a Fantastic Four movie. I don't know. But this is Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal's version. I gave him these long legs just so that he can look a bit more flexible. And of course, he does have two faces, as is the norm, and of course, his hair. So I think he looks pretty fantastic. And then, lastly, finally, we have the female version of the Silver Surfer, which is gonna be in the new movie. I only later realized it's the new version, which does make sense. You do get some very nice printing on her arm, as well as here on the side, even below that, like even that detail, and here and the back looks great. So I think this is done so well. And yes, this even has a second face on the back. So this is all from the new Fantastic Four movie, and this was a really nice way to get all of the Fantastic Four characters. And of course, there's the silver surfboard, and that's how I displayed my sets, these two combined. And then I have this little hand, which is literally what Lego did to have a little bit of representation of the big set of Sandman, which feels like it's very neglected, and they might as well just have made those two sets one. But anyway, that's what they did. And the rest of this set does include another portal, which originally Lizard jumps out of, but I had fun using a bunch of other loose pieces to create this nice display effect you saw at the beginning. And it does include this spider web if you get this set, and then Sandman does go in there, and then it's like a mini battle. But I definitely recommend getting both of these sets and those extra figures because they work really, really nice.